What's up, guys? It's Sean here with the Sean Deli Football Channel. I do apologize. I've been kind of MIA lately, just dealing with some stuff. I am back to normal scheduling from here on out, and that is going to be my promise moving forward. And today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to do the World Cup Qualifiers, and since those have ended for Europe, at least the main part has ended for Europe. We do have the 10 guaranteed teams going straight to the World Cup. For those who aren't familiar, Europe has 13 allocations, 10 groups, 10 teams. Whoever tops the group goes directly to the World Cup. The other 3 teams have to battle it out between the second place teams of each group. We'll see who those are, and we actually know who those are because the game's just ended. So we're going to go through groups one by one. Serbia topping Group A with that phenomenal last-minute goal by Mitrovic. What an absolute amazing moment for them and the Serbian fans. It was absolutely beautiful to watch. Heartbreaking for Portugal, obviously. But Serbia have done very, very well in this tournament. They've only conceded 9 goals. They've only drawn 2 games. They didn't lose a game in this entire qualifying, and they thoroughly deserve their spot. Heartbreak for Portugal, obviously. They should have done better. The errors in previous games really came to haunt them here. Need to do a lot better. We'll see how they do in the playoffs. Group B, another more of a simple group. Spain topped the group quite comfortably. Sweden coming in second. Not much really to discuss. Sweden have kind of been on a pretty good run lately and quite comfortable for them. Sweden, let's see how they do in the playoffs and if they can to snag a spot. Another shocker was Italy not being able to beat Northern Ireland, and just some absolute shocking results from Italy. 4 draws in their last 5 games against this group is not Bulgaria, Lithuania, Northern Ireland, and Switzerland. 4 draws is just not good enough for the European champions. I don't really know what's happened to them, but they've kind of not been the same since the Euros. Bit disappointing for them. Very disappointing for them, if anything, to go into the playoffs alongside Portugal. Moving on to the next group, France, quite comfortable, was able to secure first spot. Ukraine, somewhat surprisingly, also was able to do it. Only 2 wins and 6 draws for Ukraine, but they are going to be in the playoffs as well. Not much to talk about that group. The next group, Belgium, again, not really much to discuss. Top their group quite comfortably. Wales are going to be going to the playoffs. We'll see how they do. Denmark, possibly the most impressive team across qualifying. They only lost their game this week against Scotland, which they were pretty much as guaranteed for qualification as you can be with their 9 wins that they had. Quite ridiculous form from them, honestly. They've just been on an absolute tear ever since the Euros, honestly. This Denmark team, very, very impressive. Another team that needs shouting out, actually, is Scotland. In most groups, pretty much in every group, 23 points would have guaranteed you first place. But Scotland actually finished second in this group with 23 points. And if it wasn't for the brilliance of Denmark, there was definitely a chance. They're going to be definitely a team shouting out during those playoffs. We'll see how they do on a 5-game win streak at the moment. The Dutch were able to secure their spot in a very nail-biting game against Norway, where the group could have gone any direction. There was a chance that Turkey could have qualified, Norway could have qualified, and the Dutch could have qualified. In the end, the Dutch were able to secure the points. Some just lack of cohesion up front, just a little bit shaky on the ball. I wasn't impressed with Frankie de Jong as much as I usually am. Just need to do better, honestly. However, they are the team with the most goals scored in qualifying, which is a very impressive trait, honestly. I just wish that they had been able to have a bit more of a comfortable run-in. That draw against Montenegro was very, very shocking, and that kind of threw them for a wrench. But outside of that, pretty comfortable running for them. Turkey will be second. Unfortunately, there will be no Erling Haaland at the World Cup. It's going to be sad, but we move on. Croatia, another team that got very, very lucky with the own goal. Oh, it was heartbreaking. The own goal that sent Croatia to the World Cup. Again, at 81st minute own goal. Croatia were the better team of the two against Russia, but that's just heartbreaking when that happens, obviously. And then we move along to Russia will be second in that group, by the way. England, they're England. They have the easiest group in the whole country, in the whole world when it comes to World Cup qualifiers. Put 10 past San Marino. I don't consider England's goals as anything impressive. Like, you have Andorra, Albania, and San Marino in this group. There is no, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're not impressed by how many goals you were able to score. Germany was also able to secure first place, and North Macedonia was able to clutch out that second spot and get involved in the playoffs. I am just going to read for you guys real quick what exactly the playoff draw and what the situation is going to be. So, the way it works, there's two pots. Pot 1 is Portugal, Scotland, Italy, Russia, Sweden, Wales. Pot 2 is Turkey, Poland, North Macedonia, Ukraine, Austria, and Czech Republic from the Nations League. So, out of these 12 teams, 3 spots remaining. So, it's going to go down to 6, and then all these teams are going to obviously pot 1. I'm just going to read it out for you just to make it a lot simpler. The 6 best ranked runners up are allocated to pot 1 and will play their playoff semifinal at home. The remaining 6 teams will be allocated to pot 2. Determine the best runner up, blah 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 blah. It's just a lot of fancy stuff. But the way it's going to work is semifinal 1 is going to be team from pot 1 versus team from pot 2. The winner of that game will play against semifinal 2, which is team 1, pot 2. They're pretty much going to get bracket off. And then the ideal situation is, I'm going to just be selfish here and say, you want the best teams at the World Cup, obviously. You want the good teams. So as much as hilarious as it would be, say, if Italy or Portugal don't go necessarily, you want them there because they make the spectacle a lot bigger, obviously. So Portugal, Italy are the obvious shots. You have to win 2 games. It's pretty do or die. It's pretty spicy games, though. That's pretty exciting that it all comes down to 2 games, whether or not all of football needs to be knockout tournaments. It's kind of like Champions League style. The draws, I believe, so the playoff semis are on March 24th. So we have 4 or 5 months till then, and then the final is on the 29th. I love how they call it the final. Oh, it's so exciting, actually. The draws will be later on. You're hoping that both Portugal and Italy don't fall into the same bracket, at least. So they're just on opposite sides. And hopefully that is how the ranking works. It would be very unfortunate if it isn't that way. But it is what it is. The other team that would be quite exciting to have at the World Cup, Scotland, I would be very excited if they were there. Sweden has been showing really well lately. Poland and as well as Czech Republic have done some pretty good stuff. Not really impressed with most of the other teams. Wales maybe, but not really. And that kind of rounds up the European qualifiers for a while. Obviously, Americas are still going on right now. I'm actually watching the US game on the side. And the Asian, actually, I'm part Middle East, part Iranian as well. And Iran freaking crushing it in the AFC qualifiers. We're just going to do a quick, brief mention for them as well. AFC is a little bit different. There's only 2 groups. There was a round before this, and then there's this round. Each group has 6 teams, 5 games each, 10 games in total. And Each group has 2 allocations because Asia has 4.5 spots, if I'm not mistaken, and the third teams go into the qualifiers and the playoffs against the oceanic third teams and stuff like that. But at the moment, we have Iran top of the table, 6 games, 5 wins, 1 draw, 16 points. Second is South Korea with 14, and third is the UAE on 6. The UAE was able to secure a win today against Lebanon. Lebanon does come out with 5 points. Iran is pretty much locked away for the next round. There is obviously a situation if they lose the next 4 games, which half of them are at home, there is a chance that they might not get it, but they only need 2 points, I believe, to guarantee qualification. 1 win out of 4 games. It's 99% guaranteed that Iran's going to make it through, because on the flip side, UAE would also have to win all of their games. The next game on that qualifying is on January 27th against Iraq. And I believe it's going to be, this group is pretty much done and dusted, honestly. I don't really expect anything outrageous to happen. I think Iran's going to qualify quite easily, and I think South Korea will qualify quite easily as well. The other side of the bracket is a little bit more interesting, with Saudi Arabia really pulling ahead of everybody else. Somewhat surprisingly, Japan kind of falling off the radar a little bit from that amazing World Cup 2018 showing that they've had. Bit of a dud year for them. We'll see how they do, and Australia bringing up the rear in that group as well. So those are kind of the groups. We're going to just do a quick teams who have qualified for World Cup. And I believe there's a good group of them right now. So far, I believe, obviously, outside the European ones, Qatar is obviously guaranteed as host. Brazil from CONCACAF has already secured their spot. And that pretty much rounds it out. The African, the CAF, and the AFC still have games to play. It's like, you can almost throw Iran in as a guarantee as well. The North America one is interesting at the moment as well. North America is pretty spicy because the US, Canada, and Mexico are pretty much neck and neck right now. The US and Mexico are both on 14 points. Canada's on 13. Panama's the sneaky team in behind with 11. 1 win from them, a little bit of a snuggle. Mexico do play Canada tonight. It's pretty exciting. We might just do another game from them later on. We might do a video for North America. And then South America, obviously Brazil, it's done. They've been so good. It's ridiculous. Argentina, Ecuador, and Chile. Uruguay's been so disappointing, honestly. Let's actually not talk about South America and America. We'll do a video about them tomorrow. It'll be good. But more than anything else, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. It's a blast being back. This is great. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.